Animal rights is the next logical step in human evolution. I've read books, for instance, argued by Francis Fukuyama, where he talked about we've reached the pinnacle of human evolution. The end of evolution, as the title of one of his books has it. That liberal capitalism is the summit of human creation. That we can go no farther than the pluralist capitalist democracy that we've created. Well, like all so-called progressive humanists, he forgot one thing, and that is that we're still destroying the planet. And so the next two stages in human evolution, that if we don't take, we will fail to survive, are that we need to now leap into the politics of nature. We need one, a land ethic, and two, animal rights. And once we take these next steps, maybe we can talk about the end of evolution. We've gone so far with expanding the human community away from the rights just of white male property owners, and over centuries of struggle to people of color and to women and to gays and lesbians, to the physically challenged. And we've expanded this community. Yes, it's imperfect. Yes, there are lots of struggles to come within the human community. But please don't seal these boundaries within a progressive humanist framework and suffer the illusion of believing that we are at the end of moral evolution, because we've just started. Oh, we've got the next step to take, which is the hardest step, and that is getting outside of our own narrow, selfish species interests and really re-articulating our relationships to the natural world. Animal rights represents the marker of moral progress that we can see in this world today, the universalization of rights. To the extent that rights become universalized to include the whole community, not just the human community, but the bio-community. That is how we can gauge that we're making moral progress. And so that is why I say animal rights is the next step in human moral evolution. And it challenges the last ugly prejudice that we have that really has yet to be challenged, and that is speciesism. The belief that one species is superior to another species, to all other species, because of their species reality or species nature alone. And that gives them the right to discriminate or use against or use other species as they see fit. So our society is undergoing right now a great learning process, just as we learn that differences in our color, our skin color, and the differences in our gender are irrelevant to moral reality and to the establishment of a moral community. So we're learning that differences in species also are all morally irrelevant. And I make a distinction between factual differences and what is morally relevant. Obviously there are differences between human and non-human animals, but they're irrelevant. Just as all the differences amongst people here in this room are irrelevant to who has rights and who doesn't. The differences between human and non-human animals are irrelevant to the fact that they do have fundamental rights. So our similarities with the animals are much more important than our differences. And our similarities say that, number one, we are all sentient. And beyond that, number two, we are all subjects of a life. We have complex social and psychological characteristics. We are subjects of a life. And that's what unites us, and that's all that really matters. In the bio-community, in the expanding boundaries of rights, that we are all subjects of a life.